So I built these huge mine shafts in my parents' backyard that were like over 100 feet long. Hey everyone, it's Mike. I am back with another episode. And this time I'm going to be talking about something. I'm making a big announcement. So about 10 years ago, I had reached a point where I'd been making short films. And really why I've been making my short films is because I want to make feature films. It's always kind of been a means to an end to one day potentially make your feature film. About 10 years ago, I reached that point where I'm like, I'm going to make a feature film. I'm ready to do this. So I had this idea for a rated R Goonies with a loose telling of Hansel and Gretel. And I worked on the script for a while. I had the script written. I just felt like it was my next step in learning. So after briefly kind of auditioning friends, I quickly came to the conclusion that I need to actually cast this with people who are interested in acting. So I ended up casting local actors from a nearby community college, and part of the story involved these underground mine shafts. So I built these huge mine shafts in my parents' backyard that were like over 100 feet long. We had this bigger ensemble cast, like, you know, the way kind of Goonies is. And a lot of the times the cast was bigger than our 4-person crew. So I had a job at the time where I would work this job all day, listening to podcasts about filmmaking and kind of get all fired up during the day. And at the end of the week, I'd spend my paycheck basically on just more supplies to build this cave in my backyard and whatever equipment we needed to shoot. You know, just piece by piece, I put together this feature film. And it probably took over a year, and somehow we finished it. So then I released the film, and looking back, I mean, there's a lot of things I would have done differently. The classic route is always, you know, you go to film festivals and then someone helps you make it super successful. And I did some film festivals, but it just kind of fizzled out after that. So I had just moved to Hollywood right around when I was releasing it, and I just felt at the time I was ready to move on to my next project. And I kind of let that project go, and like, it is what it is, and started writing my next feature. So 10 years later, I still haven't made that second feature. I've made other things. I've made music videos, other short films, which I've discussed, you know, and I've been working professionally as an editor. And so I've been learning a lot, and I have written another feature, and I always want to make features. That's my main goal. And like my main passion is to be directing full-length movies. Some of my short films had participated in film festivals. So you start seeing, you get tickets to full-length feature films at the screenings, and you see other horror films that are in competition. And I kept thinking, like, I wonder how my mind would feel up against this. And, you know, what would it like be? Honestly, some of them just were kind of boring. And I felt like what I remember about my film was it was entertaining, and it was fun. So, you know, after watching, it's like, I'm just going to watch my first feature and see how it feels. And there were some cool things in it. I was surprised, and obviously there were flaws and things I would change, but it had the bones of something cool. And I just kept thinking, like, over the last 10 years, I had learned a lot, and I had been editing and working on my storytelling, and I advanced in all different areas of filmmaking. And I'm kind of trained to fix other people's problems in their edits and make their pieces better. So it's kind of how I think. How can I improve this? And so when I was watching my feature film, I had all these ideas of ways to solve the issues that I was seeing with movies that wouldn't be so hard. I mean, it would just kind of be more editing. And I mean, it would be a lot of hours, but it wouldn't cost a lot of money. It would just be my time. So I decided to kind of poke around the project and, you know, see if I could find all the footage, which I could, and just decipher all the mess of, you know, what I created, you know, 10 years ago, and just see what I would do, you know, for fun as a little experiment. I wasn't making a commitment to it at that time. I just was having fun. And when I started tweaking things and adding little edits, adding sound design, cutting things, it re-sparked that joy and that pure fun I had when I was putting this together for the first time. Exploring and trying to figure out ways to make the edit work and just make it interesting. You know, with the things I've learned, you know, over the 10 years, the wheels started turning, like, what could I really do? And so I've made the decision that I am going to restore my first feature film. I'm going to re-edit it. I've been re-editing it, and I'm reshooting parts of it. So there are added scenes spanning the story a bit. I'm re-sound designing it, creating a new sound mix, a new color. It will have the essence of the first film, but it will feel, hopefully, a bit more polished. And I think it will be great, and I'm excited about it, and I've been excited about it. We'll see where it leads. I'm not trying to ignore what I did or like act like it didn't happen. It's just a chance to fulfill the vision that I originally sought to make all those years ago. And I do feel like I have the skills now to see it through for the most part. Maybe in another 10 years, I'll do another version. There's a lot of great stuff in there. Like, the whole cast was really fun, and we got some great locations, and the set's cool. So I'm excited to share it with everyone. Over the next few weeks, I'll be sharing more content, more stories of how I made different aspects of this, the kind of behind the scenes of probably do a behind the scenes of how I built this huge cave in my parents' backyard, and even how like I'm using more modern tools like using AI to rebuild this film and see through like the vision that I imagined all those years ago. So yeah, thanks for checking it out. Thanks for being interested, and follow along for the journey of what happens with this feature film.